All right, a lot of y'all who said Donald Trump wasn't going to send the National Guard to any red states, it looks like that's changing. So Memphis, Tennessee looks like the place. It's the detour. It was going to be Chicago, but it looks like it's going to be Memphis. Memphis is dominated by the Republican Party. It holds both the state U.S. Senate seats and majority congressional seats and the state legislature. So definitely a red state. So let's get into that real quick. Look, honestly, I'll tell you this before I play the video. I'm not that surprised. I honestly think that Trump doesn't really care about what state he goes into, red or blue. If there's crime, I think he doesn't mind deploying the National Guard.
We're hearing from people on both sides of the aisle after President Trump said earlier this morning that the National Guard is not coming to Chicago.
We're going to Memphis. That's the next city. Deeply troubled. And the mayor is happy. He's a Democrat mayor. The mayor is happy. And the governor, Tennessee, the governor is happy. Deeply troubled. We're going to fix that just like we did Washington. I would have preferred going to Chicago. Every weekend, they're losing many people.
Why is he not going to Chicago? Why is the National Guard not going to Chicago? My guess is that they're not going to Chicago because the leaders there, Pritzker and Johnson, put up so much of a stink that I guess for now, Trump is like, we'll detour, we'll go to Memphis. And I think that, again, there are people in Illinois, Chicago, who did not want the National Guard there, but there are a lot of people there who also wouldn't have minded.
We spoke with 15th Ward Alderman Ray Lopez, who was a supporter of the Guard being deployed to the city. He says having the Guard in Chicago would have allowed Chicago police officers to better focus on patrolling city streets.
I'm disappointed because that means the citizens of Chicago are going to lose. The victims of Chicago are going to be forgotten, and the criminals of Chicago are going to think that they now have scared the president from coming here to help put things back into place. And yet there's a fringe group in the city who says, we don't want a militarized zone. Wake up, people, because you're already in a war zone.
Facts. Look, Pritzker and Johnson don't want him to come there because they be upstage. I said that before. I mean, we can even go through the past couple of days alone, man. I mean, forget Labor Day weekend where there was 58 people shot, 8 people died. That's ancient history now, and we're only about 2 weeks away from that. We're now, today's September 13th or 14th right now? Today's the 13th. So we're only a couple of weeks away, a couple of weeks past Labor Day weekend, but we got craziness. Like,
cell phone video shows the moments right before 5 a.m. A large number of individuals are seen running out of the Louis Vuitton store located at Walton and Michigan Avenue. Its windows smashed in by a pickup truck. The thieves, some carrying stolen merchandise, scatter in different directions, piling into several getaway vehicles. According to police, it was one of those getaway cars that moments later smashed into the unsuspecting driver of this white Honda utility vehicle near Michigan and Ohio.
keep in mind, this is downtown Chicago, right? So crime isn't an issue. But when you looking at this, take a look at this car who got smashed into, right? These are dudes who broke into the Louis Vuitton store downtown, got into, they got to speed away from the crime scene, obviously, and they run into this other person who's probably going to work or whatever. Who knows if this person is killed? It looks like if they weren't killed, they were probably hurt. It's crazy. Now, you're the mayor of this city. This is happening downtown where tourists are supposed to be. If you go to Chicago, this is where, if you're a tourist, this is where you want to go. I tell people when you go to Chicago, you want to go to the Bean, downtown, you know what I'm saying? Michigan Avenue, the shops. This is where tourists want to go to see the city of Chicago, quote unquote. And this is the stuff that's happening, right?
Vehicle near Michigan and Ohio. That driver was killed. 5 men inside the getaway vehicle were hospitalized and placed into custody. Police confirming that 2 more men were later captured in a separate vehicle while fleeing from police near Lakeshore Drive and Roosevelt.
You got to pay attention to the type of crimes that are happening. And like I said, the Rolex store, Louis Vuitton store, these smash and grabs are not new. The Foot Locker recently. It's becoming more brazen because if you're in the criminal lifestyle, look, it is what it is. You're out here trying to, people don't rob banks anymore, but the smash and grabs are serious. We saw a lot of these in New York back during 2020 and 2021 during the COVID era. These smash and grabs are very lucrative. If they can bust in the store and steal some Rolexes or some Louis Vuitton stuff or whatever stuff that's worth money, I mean, these are quick crimes. These are like the new bank robberies. And at the end of the day, if you're the mayor of a city and you have these things going on, again, keep in mind the Louis Vuitton store and the Rolex store just happened within the last week.
Mitchell Phillips had been cutting hair in the East Chatham neighborhood for years before opening up his own barbershop back in February. His business goals now left shattered in what his family says was an attempted robbery turned deadly. Candles and flowers lay outside a man's commitment to a neighborhood.
Her mother came in there and school is starting up. If he could give them a free haircut, he would.
While inside,
I saw a lot of blood.
Is where Mitchell Phillips fought for his life during what his family says was an attempted robbery.
Chairs flipped over. He definitely put up a fight.
Police say the 52-year-old was shot 3 times inside of his barbershop on 79th and Drexel in East Chatham. This notice, now plastered on the storefront, effectively shutting it down a day after the deadly shooting.
This family right here, who knows? I'm not saying the National Guard could have stopped it, and the National Guard is not the permanent answer, but what it shows, if you bring the Guard in, it shows that, okay, we're gonna show our presence and try to decrease crime and let you know that, we're helping the local police to make a presence to stop some of this crime. Who knows? This barbershop owner could have been alive right now. And what people don't understand is that when you knee deep in these situations, knee deep in these neighborhoods, and this stuff is happening, your mayor telling you crime is down doesn't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? Again, the first thing I'm showing is from downtown Chicago. Now this is a little bit further out into the south side on the 79th, and it just shows you a broad range of things happening within the city. And again, the National Guard is going to go to Memphis now, and I really think that Brandon Johnson and Pritzker should have taken the help, because I'm telling you, as months go along and we go into the midterms and we go into 2028, these are the things I think voters are going to start looking at in cities like Chicago.
This morning, an ICE agent is recovering and a suspect is dead after allegedly dragging the agent with his vehicle during a traffic stop in the Chicago suburb of Franklin Park. This surveillance video from a nearby business capturing the moment Silverio Villegas Gonzalez's silver car goes by. 20 seconds later, you hear the shots ring out. Immigration and Customs Enforcement saying agents were conducting targeted law enforcement activity when they tried to stop Villegas Gonzalez. They say he was in the country illegally and had a history of reckless driving. As Gonzalez tried to get away, he allegedly drove his car into the arrest team. The Department of Homeland Security says dragging an agent, quote, a significant distance. That agent opening fire, shooting and killing Villegas Gonzalez. A nearby bystander capturing ICE agent seen here, pulling him from the car.
I think it's a tragedy that a life was lost. Just right now I'm in shock of what happened.
Villegas Gonzalez died at the scene. Lawmakers speaking out and calling for transparency.
I'm calling for all of the videotapes and all of the evidence that exists to be released and for all the facts to be made public.
Immigrant rights advocates demanding justice.
Today, we are going to say no again. We want to continue to live how we have lived all this time.
If this guy is not supposed to be here, it doesn't mean he deserves to die. But if he ain't supposed to be here and he got pulled over and kept going or ran into officers with his car, it's like, this is not about people's rights. This is about what makes sense as far as someone either lawfully being here or not. And I think that, again, this is all wrapped up in the controversy or the conversation of Chicago again. And let me go over to Memphis's mayor. So Memphis's mayor. Now Memphis, like I said, is Tennessee is essentially a red state, like I said, but the mayor is actually a Democrat. Now I want to play what the Democrat had to say, because Trump did say that the mayor wanted him to come. That's not exactly what the mayor said, but I want to go into what the mayor said and just give my opinion on how the mayor handled it.
I want to be clear, I did not ask for the National Guard, and I don't think it's the way to drive down crime. My commitment is to make sure that we work strategically to ensure that this happens in a way that truly benefits and strengthens our community.
According to last year's FBI crime data, Memphis was ranked #1 for the most incidents of violent crime per 100,000 residents.
And just for clarity real quick too, because everybody's having these conversations about murder, right? And you also have the number of violent crimes. So people have to take time, look at both statistics, because some people are just focused on murder, but somebody might stab somebody, rape somebody. Those are other crimes. There's not murder, the person didn't die, but there's still violent crimes, right? Robbery, stuff like that. So carjacking. So these are things to look at. And Memphis being #1 per capita. Again, per capita usually they do per 100,000. But, you know, ultimately, my thing is that the mayor, if you listen to what he said, I didn't ask for the National Guard. I don't think it's the right solution. But he did, let it keep playing, because he did say that his commitment was for the citizens of Memphis. And I think at the end of the day, it's a good thing to say that, hey, I don't want this, but my commitment is to my citizens. That way, which is smart, that way, if the National Guard does go there, which apparently Trump wants to do that, if things get better, even for a short amount of time, his constituents will be able to say, okay, well, cool. He was against it, but he wasn't vehemently trying to block it the way Mayor Johnson in Chicago and Governor Pritzker are doing. Because if you try to block the help and then you have a ton of crime that happens after you block it, your constituents are like, yo, maybe you should have took the help.
Yeah, Nancy, in that Fox News interview this morning, President Trump did say he still prefers to go to Chicago at some point with the National Guard and federal troops. But a couple of things that he has suggested might be part of the reason why he's turning his focus now to Memphis. He mentioned that there is that ongoing legal case that's currently in appeals court when it comes to the National Guard that were sent to Los Angeles. President Trump sounded confident that they will win that case eventually in court, but said that he's closely watching it.
Whether you politically agree or not, sometimes you got to just take the help. So next stop's going to be Memphis, or the detour is going to be Memphis instead of Chicago. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, it's Crucial Convo. I'm out.